Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Safety Systems, East Tennessee's best choice for security solutions for your home, office, or your business. Call VFL J.J. Surlis and his Safety Systems team this week. All right, don't forget the poll. We got the poll for you to take. Let's see. Looks like most people are just tired of the drama. I'm surprised we don't have more people saying that the NCAA is toothless.
Yeah.
I thought we'd have more people saying, let me add them.
Yeah.
Okay. Certainly Donde Plowman and Danny White. Man, I didn't read those for you or the NCAA's back. You've seen that all week. But I encourage you, if you want to see some landmark statements going back and forth that I've never seen in these kind of cases before, read those.
I don't think people are tired of the drama because they pay attention to the drama.
Yeah. UT has clearly been working with the state attorney general to file this antitrust suit. That didn't just come out of left field. True or false, Ryan? UT is better off if this case is based on whether the NCAA can block NIL used for recruiting than it is if it's based on the details and merits of whether or not Tennessee violated the spirit of those NCAA rules.
Yes, I think so. I mean, it doesn't make a huge difference probably because if you're talking about the details of Tennessee's case, it still comes under the umbrella of this is all about the big picture of whether players can do that. So it doesn't matter how much money is involved, what specific case. It's all about the same stuff. But yeah, that's the big picture is the thing that's more on Tennessee's side in this case for sure.
I disagree, but I'll hold my tongue. Go ahead.
You disagree with the big picture?
No, I think no. I agree that the big picture is what they need. There's a reason they went and did that. I think if it focused just on here's what the guideline said, clear or not, here's what the guideline is, here's what the overarching theory is, and you waced in and did it and talked about it, I think that gets a lot grayer. I think Tennessee still wins. I think that's a tougher case to win than you can't keep kids from making money. That's a slam dunk victory. So I just don't think they're close to each other. I think one's gray and one is slam dunk. But that's just my opinion. Mm-hmm. Jimmy.
And I don't know where to go with this one. It's a gray area for me. I do think focusing on the big picture might be the route to go. But to me, a lot of these guidelines are not gray. A lot of them are pretty darn black and white, which you showed.
Yes.
And what you did.
Yeah.
So the problem gets into, to me, okay, you've got these rules, but there's no way to enforce it, and everybody's breaking them. So how do you resolve that?
Yeah.
How do you resolve that?
And see, everybody's breaking it, though. People have said that for years.
Right.
That's the same, and there are all kinds of people breaking the law every day, and yet somebody gets caught, and other people get away with it. I just think you got a deterrent system because they can't catch everybody.
Well, they're not through.
Right.
We're looking at these.
I think A&M's going to get it.
Yeah, there's no telling how many other schools are going to get looked at.
I think Danny White said just about every school you go to, you're going to find something.
Yes,
100%.
I mean, that's the whole
That's right,
point.
100%. Yep.
Yeah, to me, I'm going to follow pretty much what Dante Plowman laid out in that letter. And I'm going to go, this is how we feel, this is what we did. There's the athletes are entitled to compensation. You get into all of the NIL in the different states. There's so many moving parts to this.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. So I just feel like Tennessee stick to their guns and what Danny White is saying, what she's saying, and this is how we feel, and this is why you're wrong this time.
I think, and what I'm saying is, I think the state attorney general makes a better case than Donde Plowman and Danny White. They rally the troops, and they're making a strong case. I just think that's tougher because, as no one else has shown you, the guidelines were pretty clear. The spirit of this thing is, do not go and treat it like the Wild West, and you did. So if I'm Tennessee, I don't want to be judged on that. Mm-hmm. I want to be judged on this other standard. You can't enforce the rule. To me, this is the irony, Dave. Mm-hmm. Tennessee and all these other schools have said, give us more guidelines and rules on this.
Yes.
And then they came back and they told Tennessee and some other schools, okay, here are the rules, and you broke them.
Yeah.
And now it's, you can't make and enforce rules. And the irony is, if Tennessee wins this case, and I think they will, easily, their reward will be the exact opposite of what they've all been asking for. Instead of more guidelines and more rules, there will be no guidelines and rules at all. If that doesn't sum up the problem with college athletics today, Tennessee wanted this, they got it and didn't like it, so now they're going over here, and if they win, they're going to get the complete opposite of what they and everybody else had been asking for.
Well, whatever the new thing is, okay, whether it's called
NCAA 2,
whatever we call it,
yeah,
there's going to have to be a reshaping of the rule book with athletes involved. And maybe it's not collective bargaining by name, but it has to be something like that. But I think ultimately what we're talking about in terms of the big picture is I was in the day that Charlie Baker dropped his recommendations. I was in Vegas at the Sports Business Journal Forum, and he was on stage talking on a panel saying, "We're just asking Congress for a little antitrust exemption." Well, you don't
Just
have,
a little.
yeah, exactly. Well, you don't have that. You don't have that. Anytime anybody from the NCAA shows up in a hearing or a courtroom or Congress and explains their business model to people that are not like dyed in the wool, they're like, "Wait, you do what now?
Yeah.
You collect how much money?
Yeah.
And you give the athletes some food and training and like." Come on now. So anyway,
Scholarship.
But yeah,
Get that scholarship.
It all goes back
Sure.
to how the
Debt
students
free.
are wrong.
but I'm just saying that at the end of the day, like you don't have that, and so if you go after the big picture, like you said, you're gonna win
Yeah.
because it doesn't make sense.
Exactly. I think the big picture is there's not even any question.
Yeah.
There's no question you're going to win that. If it's the other thing, then I got to look at the question.
Yeah.
The other guy can at least make a case. They can't make a
How do you-
case on
how
this
do you,
other one.
How do you feel about
the big picture?
I'm very curious to you guys here. When one of the things that Dondi took issue with was the term guidelines, which had air quotes in it, versus rules. Do you think that matters? Because I don't know. Maybe.
I don't think. Well, I think that's one of the reasons that's not even going to be part of the case. I think it's
Yeah.
all going to be this other thing.
Yeah.
See, that's a gray area, right?
Yeah.
How would a judge have viewed that?
Yeah.
Well, we won't ever know because they've changed the they've changed the topic.
I think
which is wise.
I think that's their attempt to show that they were just coming up with something on the fly.
Yeah.
That this isn't
Yeah.
like an official rule
Yeah.
book. This is just their attempt to get it back in the bottle, and it's not really well thought out.
But when you read it, it's not as weird and hard to
Yeah.
understand as they try to make it.
You see
Yeah.
where they're trying to draw the line. It's just a
Yeah.
matter of can they do that?
Right, right. But it's kind of being presented on the Tennessee side that we had no clue. They didn't make anything clear. They made some things clear.
I have wondered, is the NCAA pushing this now because they want to go ahead and get this out of the way so they can go back to Congress and say, see, we tried and we can't do it. We've got to have your help. Just get it over with.
Maybe. I just don't think there's not a lot of sympathetic ears in Congress
No,
at
they're
any
good.
level to
They're
do
good.
anything to help them. So.
And again, I just keep coming back to the NCAA is doing, like you're talking about, the NCAA is not paying. They're giving these kids food and training, but nothing else. When you say NCAA, we ought to be trained to say the schools.
It's true.
Because the schools are the NCAA. Too many
Yeah.
people love their school and hate the NCAA and don't realize the school is the NCAA. All right, when we come back, UT's leaders are rallying the fans and are angling for a fight, but that is a gamble. Or is it? I think you've already heard our answer. Is the NCAA so toothless it's not a gamble? Come on back on the Sports Source.